Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is definitely good morning. Man almighty, I had to go turn on the other camera here for YouTube. So that's why there was a delay. I know everyone was worried.
They were. I could tell.
And I know the populace around Round Lake was more relieved than anything. They probably thought that I got ran over by a car or more likely shot.
Well.
With the topics we talk about. You just tuned in to the Dave Mierswa Show. I'm your host, attorney Dave Mierswa. I am here with co-host. I love saying that.
I do too. I love that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, co-host Peggy Busceni. Peggy, how are you?
I am wonderful. Wonderful. The days are, they're beautiful. This weekend has been gorgeous.
Yeah, can you believe it?
It's been all summer, and we've tried to stay out every weekend and tried to enjoy the weather and just make the most of the summer. And I can't believe it's already the end.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but it's been gorgeous the last 2 days.
I gotta say, this entire summer has been really sunny.
Yeah.
Has been a little, I'm not gonna complain about the heat.
Oh, no.
We'll just say it was a little extra sunny.
That's okay. It's all good for us. It's
and,
great for us, actually.
Oh, yeah. So, this summer, and I got to say yesterday, and then Friday, I took my motorcycle out.
Cool.
Yeah, so we took the motorcycle out, and then I had a buddy that I went cruising with. And I made it through another week without being shot as an attorney.
Funny. You know what? Hey, me too.
Every Sunday I always wake up and I'm always like, it's amazing. I'm still above the ground or not lying in a hospital bed from all the controversy we make. And Peggy, there's going to be a lot of listeners tuning in. There could be 5 or 6 this morning. Actually, it's amazing. When I first started the show, I've had literally lots of people come up and say that they listen to the show.
How wonderful.
Yeah,
Great.
and there are a lot of listeners out there.
Yeah, we just don't know about them. A friend of mine keeps saying, well, you and Dave and his mother know all about what's going on in Round Lake. I'm like, okay, it's his mother and my mother.
And that's what I thought too. I thought that, there wouldn't be a lot of listeners, but there's actually quite a few listeners online.
There are.
That we kind of track, but we kind of don't. And I know our biggest fan is my wife. So,
well, yeah.
And as soon as and it's kind of like forced listening because I'll start asking false questions about the show. Did we talk about, gun control? No, it was about, CPS.
Yeah.
Well, I gave away the topic. So.
Oh no.
Let me take a minute here and get the shout outs out of the way.
All right.
And then we'll get into the topic. And again, feels good to be back on the air, doesn't it?
Oh, no kidding, man. It's been to me, it's been a short week, but when I'm not on the radio and stuff, it's a long week. I want to get here, see you, talk about things, and get into the nitty gritty.
Exercise your First Amendment right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The most powerful amendment within the Constitution, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, my shout outs, again, as always, I'm a huge person in animal rescue. Reach Rescue is a non-for-profit, non-kill animal shelter located in Mundelein. They have a resale shop right next door to the adoption center. So pretty cool. And you can bring your kids there. They're awesome. And you can donate a bunch of stuff and get a tax deduction. And let me tell you, if you're a hoarder, I think you ought to stop in there and buy out half the store.
Sure.
Because then your hoarding would be satisfied for one more week.
Exactly.
And, you don't have to admit it, but, there's a lot of people that are hoarders out there. So,
a few.
They call it treasures.
Yeah.
And, I like to refer to it as junk.
Trash.
That's why you're a co-host on today's show.
Well, my parents always used to keep stuff. I mean, my parents had what they called antiques.
Yeah.
I'm like, antiques? That's junk.
Yeah, put that in. My mom, before she got put into assisted living this summer, we went down to the basement, and I swear to God, if you were a prepper, it was like a prepper's dream.
Oh.
Because my grandfather, and then my mom, and there was 100 to 150 ice cream buckets.
Oh, great.
Down there. And I'm like, what are you expecting, asbestos pipe the leak? In about 300 different spots so you can hang a bucket there or something? I don't know. Just insane. Okay, the other shout out, of course, to all our friends is at Save a Pet located in Gray's Lake. And Save a Pet's been around for a long time. We donate a lot of food, a lot of money. If you're out and about today, I do believe they're open.
Yes, they are.
So, check that out. And please, if you're going to adopt an animal, do not go for a for-profit. Please adopt an animal at one of these shelters. And, this radio show is to lend voices to people and things and animals that don't have a voice.
True.
And we got two strong voices in this room.
Yes.
I can feel this building shaking right now. And, they may, call in an earthquake threat
Exactly.
here.
Yes, hey, that happens wherever I go. I don't know what happens.
It could be that I'm a little overweight. We went out Friday, and with my friend that we went biking with, and we went to Moretti's in Fox Lake.
Oh, wow.
And then they ordered like a large pizza, so I'm like, I ordered another one. And I took care of the check with him because he's a great guy.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, that's the most amazing thing because
That you
I'm
took
usually
care of the
cheap.
check. Yeah,
you know me.
I know you.
But I had like 8 slices, 10 slices of pizza,
Ooh.
and I'm still stuffed from Friday.
That's the problem with stuff like that. You tend to have like a 2-day hangover.
Yeah.
We used to get it from booze. Now we get it from food.
Yeah, carb.
Bad.
Carb
bad,
hangover.
Bad.
Peggy, you got an interesting
Oh,
PSA.
yes.
Let's read that,
I
and then
do.
we'll throw that on the floor, and we'll move on with the show.
Okay.
Don't let Bish know that.
I won't.
Bish is the station
Manager. or
Caesar.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't say that, Bish. Sorry. No.
Yeah, his ears are ringing.
We got the WRLR Geo Awards, and that's the 7th annual one coming up. It's the awards for public community radio, which WRLR is like a big proponent of.
We are public radio.
I know. It's on Friday, September 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at Parkway Banquets, 25212 West Lakeshore Drive in Ingleside. And individual tickets are $35 each, 2 for $65, or a table of 10 for $315. Public is welcome to attend, and you get to enjoy a buffet-style dinner with cash bar. There's an awards program and featuring the alternative band Something About Tuesday. Now, if you want tickets, you can go to you can email geoawards at wrlr.fm or purchase online at www.wrlr.fm and use donate button on the upper right hand side. There's a $3 processing fee that will apply. So it's all part of the game.
We're a little cheap here at WRLR.
Yeah, But you can also mail checks in to Geo Awards, WRLR 98.3, P.O. Box 98, Round Lake, Illinois 60073. If you need more information, the phone number is 847-338-9747. Or you can just go right on Facebook and see us on WRLR 98.3 FM.
Yes, and I got to say, let me spend a minute here on the Geo Awards. I started my show last May or June and attended the awards. I think they were towards the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are awards for all us hosts and DJs here and all the talk shows and all the great radio shows. And I got to say that I've been on the air now for over a year. And I was looking for a co-host and someone who wanted to waste time on air here.
I kind of like it though,
and
not wasting my time.
Watch out what you look for because
I just rolled in.
kind of roll in like a stray cat.
Yeah.
But these Geo Awards are fantastic because you get to know the WRLR community, and we really are a family.
Sure.
And even though that there are a lot of Democrats here in the WRLR family, nonetheless they still are part of the family. Now, actually, on a serious note here, we provide a lot of good shows. We provide a lot of information to the public, and one way to give back is to show up to these Geo Awards. They're like $40 ticket or 2 for $35 a piece or 70. I bought 4.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
paid for it, so you're locked in,
Yahoo.
ready to go.
Okay.
And but these awards are really fantastic. It's a way for all of us to get together And we have shows that range from heavy metal music all the way to talk shows like myself, a 20-year veteran attorney, and you've been in library science and librarian and helping people for
15 years.
yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
So almost 20 years.
Yeah.
You look way younger, Peggy.
I'm telling you, I
You
got.
look so radiant today.
I don't know what's up. I think it's because I was in the sun all day yesterday.
Your halo is clean too.
Yeah, well, I did.
Today's Sunday.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, all the higher ups here at WRLR, all the top management here, there's like, I don't know, about 10 of them. And they put my show right on after church.
Oh, perfect.
And I couldn't think of a better
Time.
exercise of the First Amendment.
There we go.
So, but a big shout out to everyone getting out of church today. And but you'll find this is a family-friendly radio station too.
Oh, yes.
So, do you think I talked enough about WRLR and
You did
talked
great.
it up?
You
And
totally did great. You let everybody know that we're a very diverse station, but still a family.
yeah, we're still a family,
Like all
and
families, yeah.
with diverse opinions, and like the show.
Yeah.
This show, I'm just for the background. A lot of people tuning in. I am what's known. I've rebranded myself as a common sense conservative.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm also independent. So
Okay.
I take it issue by issue.
Yeah.
And one of the big things, like conservative, they're anti-LGBT, which I'm not. I got a lot of friends that are in LGBT.
Sure.
I also believe in Second Amendment.
Yes.
Big proponent.
Me too.
And so it all the opinions are really taken step by step and issue by issue. And and I've tried very hard to present in your face topics that a lot of people are afraid to talk about. I think we got a great topic today.
Oh, no kidding.
And
No kidding.
there's a lot of let's just say politics that go into this.
And controversy, and just I don't want to say unknowing, but some of the facts are not always presented in a clear way that
Yeah,
people can make sound decisions about what people are doing.
that's correct. That is just like the left entertainment media. They have an agenda,
Oh, yes.
and they're trying to control the information, therefore trying to achieve their agenda.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get on the Obama bashing train today. It's so easy to
Oh, I know.
every week, but let me do this. I always said at the beginning of every show, I'm going to talk about the differences between Hillary and Trump. So let me get that out of the way, and then we're going to get into our show. And let me preview the topic today. Today we're going to talk about Illinois schools and also the Chicago public school system. You can't talk about Illinois schools and not talk about CPS.
Correct. They're the biggest part of Illinois education.
Yeah, they're the biggest anchor
Yeah.
that can solidify things or sink
Uh-huh.
a lot of things here in Illinois because it's such a huge part of the budget. But let me play. What was I?
Hillary.
Oh, yeah. Let me read my third term again. Let me at least get this out of the way. If I don't, my whole show here will fall into the garbage can. All right. This is for the differences between Hillary and Trump. And this one is going to be so easy. Hillary, Obama pulled out their troops too soon out of Iraq, created a power vacuum, conditions for ISIS spread throughout the world. Hillary's State Department had ignored over 600 requests on Benghazi for increased security measures. These are facts, folks. Hillary, Obama actually this was Hillary, and we don't know how far it went up, but they gave a stand-down order of not to save the citizens under attack in Benghazi. And then allegedly they were watching via drone.
Correct.
And also, here's the kicker. She lied to the victim's family to their faces.
Yeah.
And I can't, we're on FCC regulations. Some of the words that go through my mind are, we think it, we can't say it in broadcast.
Unspeakable.
Yeah.
Unspeakable.
Yeah. And, and if you're a Hillary supporter, I know Trump's got a big mouth.
Right.
And, we admit that. I know Trump
He has
has,
shoot from the hip.
and he's definitely an outsider. So, yeah, we admit that. And, here's another thing. He was never a racist until 2016.
Well, right, yeah.
And isn't that amazing with the media? Hillary lied about the personal server and the lies and the corruption coming out of her and Bill's foundation and all the bribes that went with it. Here's another great fact. The last 7.5 years, 95 million people gave up and are out of work. Real unemployment rate is 11.5%. Trump knows how to create jobs, probably more than Hillary. I'm not saying Hillary doesn't, but I think Trump has created a lot more jobs than Hillary.
And I think that 11% figure is very low. I
Yeah.
think it's probably 25%.
Well, in some of the inner communities,
Yes.
right, it's between 20 and 25% unemployment, especially between the minorities and the younger
Yes.
generation, teenagers, and up
Yes.
until like 25. So,
Mhm.
absolutely correct. Hillary lied about the Iran deal. She lied to the face of all Americans, and in fact, it came out this week that there were secret conditions that allow Iran to dictate terms of the treaty and when and how the inspections take place. How do you like that
Holy
one?
smokes.
Obama doctor stated Hillary should have a neurological exam,
I saw
and
that.
he has undisclosed severe health issues. We
Yeah.
did a show on that
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks back. Here's another one: 11 million plus illegal immigrants taking jobs of all the other minorities, not just. Everyone likes to bash, Caucasians and white people, but it's mostly the other minorities that are suffering from the illegals.
Yes, yes.
Driving down wages and high unemployment in the inner cities. Obama Hillary lied about Obamacare. These lies just go on and on. I should do a show about all the lies. 15 states right now have only one
Insurance
option for
carrier.
insurance.
Yeah.
Yep, that came out a week ago. And also, the insurance premium have gone up 45% in
I
1 year
saw that.
here in Illinois, and they've gone up thousands and thousands of dollars per year. So how you like that? Trump will secure our borders, immediately deport illegal alien criminals. Okay,
Well, right.
and I'm not in agreement with deporting all the
Family,
illegals,
yeah,
but
right.
we got to do something about it. They shouldn't have voting rights.
Correct, yeah.
Here's the kicker for me: appoint conservative justices.
Oh.
That's the huge one. For the next
Yeah.
20 to 30 to 40 years, the Supreme Court will be ruled either by the extreme left, or do you want to be a little more in the center?
Yeah, we need more centrist.
Yep. And Hillary has gone so far to the left
Yeah.
because of
Just a liberal point of view and the, open arms to everyone, which is great.
Yep.
Except for when it comes to real life.
she opened her arms to all the Bernie Sanders that are so far left. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He wants to rebuild our military, and he has complete respect for our military. And again, our enemies will fear us.
We're hoping.
Call out and define who the enemies are, okay? And Hillary said it once, but she is backpedaled. She has not done an interview in over like 280 days, I believe, something like that.
Right.
And we are now less than 70 days away, I believe, from the election.
Yeah, it's about 63, I
Yep.
think.
Hillary wants to close all the coal fields and drive them out of business. Obviously, Trump wants to build up our national resources and have energy independent. Here's another kicker for me: protect the Second Amendment. Hillary wants to abolish the Second Amendment, as
Oh, God.
Obama has talked about. Trump will renegotiate, hopefully, a lot of these trade deals. And here's one thing that's driving me crazy about both candidates, and this is probably the clear and present danger to the United States: $19 trillion in debt and growing every day.
Yes.
And
we'll never pay that off.
And I wanted to say congratulations to our president. He doubled it
Oh,
in 2 administrations. So,
fabulous.
all right,
Yeah.
let's get onto our topic, Peggy. I'm going to give you the spotlight.
All right.
Why don't you talk about our topic today, which is Illinois schools,
Yes.
and included in that Chicago public school system.
Yeah.
So it's all yours. Fire
All
away.
right,
I'll shut
cool.
up here.
Oh, well, no.
It's amazing, right?
Help
I can
if-
be quiet.
I'll be shocked, but I doubt it. I'm not worried. No, you know what? Actually, I suggested to Dave last week. I said, it's Labor Day coming up, so let's talk about Labor Day. And a lot of people don't realize why we have Labor Day. Now we all think it's the end of the summer and it's the
Barbecue.
Barbecue last weekend a tan, you know, that sort of thing. And it's a little bit more than that. There are some things here. It was Labor Day started out as a political favor, shocking, granted to a political group. It was a national holiday approved by Congress in 1894, and it was signed into law by President Grover Cleveland. And he wanted to reach out to the trade unions to, you know, kind of satisfy the unions. And it was also done because there was a bloody Pullman strike that was going on in 1894 that they really needed to quell. And so this was a way for everyone to recognize labor, to you know, show some appreciation and give somebody a day off. Now, you know, it has of course turned to a holiday where people say, oh, it's a 3-day weekend and let's just barbecue. And so
That's interesting. So what year did it?
1894.
Yeah, and then think about the working conditions back
They
then.
were horrible. So it was a kick to labor, not a kick, but it was a good way to tell labor, hey, you know, we've really changed things around. The Labor Party was becoming more standardized, you know, the 8-hour workday, children working were
Right.
not allowed to do so, you know, that sort of thing. So it was really a day to appreciate laborers. And
Excellent.
yeah, I mean, it really it started out as a really good holiday, well-meaning, not good, well-meaning holiday to honor our workers in these United States and to, you know, just show, hey, you know, we appreciate, we know you work hard, it's not easy, and the work is, you know, constant. So, you know, like I said, it started out as a political favor, but the politicians liked it because they got union support. The unions liked it because then they got, if they had parades for Labor Day, they got yearly recognition for their union.
Ah, okay.
You know, so it was a mutually beneficial thing, you know, but then again, it was mutually beneficial, but, you know, it kind of boils down to, you know, recognition, money, power, that sort of thing. So, you know, for a holiday that was intended to honor all of our people who learn to work, you know, on a daily basis for 8 hours a day, it was really just to give them a day off. So now it's a 3-day weekend and it's a long barbecue. But there was an article in the Daily Herald today that expounded on these issues, and yeah, they were saying it's a benefit for all politicians and the unions, but people kind of miss that. So over the years, it's become less associated with unions and more associated simply with the generic idea of labor itself. So, yeah, and the vast majority of us undertake the day after that day with or without a union label. So even if you're not in the union, you still, you know, can enjoy the day and everything. And it's the op-ed piece in the Sunday paper today of the Daily Herald. And this author was saying, on Thanksgiving, we pause to give thanks. On Memorial Day, we reflect on those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and on Independence Day, we celebrate the nation. But Labor Day, it's become less of a celebration or a tribute than it has become a day to escape labor. The last glorious fling of summer, the final 3-day weekend before the weather turns cold, and the early morning grows dark and school takes a serious turn. So with the idea of school,
Right, the poor kids are back in school.
I know,
I kind of like it. They're not out causing trouble in neighborhoods.
well, exactly, and you know, and then the Jerry Lewis telethon comes on, and it's like, oh my God, it's our last summer.
No,
But-
I'm gonna sound really bad here.
Yeah,
Is he still alive or has he passed away?
I'm not sure. He was looking rather sickly several years ago, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But you know, there was a dissension between Jerry Lewis and muscular dystrophy, so I don't know if they're even doing the telethon
Yeah.
anymore.
Is that normally? I thought that was on like Easter.
No, Labor Day. It's
Oh,
today.
Labor Day. Okay,
It should-
that tells you
it's-
the last
well,
time.
yeah, I know.
Jeez, that's bad.
Yeah.
So, thank you for all the background information on Labor Day.
Well, and like I
It's
said,
interesting.
it's gonna take us right into the school issue with CPS.
Yeah, well, let me get into this.
Yeah,
This is part of it. Let me play this first audio clip,
Cool.
and then we'll play the next one on CPS. I got a ton of clips
Cool.
here. It should offend quite a few people here.
The state of Illinois is in a state of crisis with billions of dollars in debt. Good evening, I'm Patrice Dayton. Mark Allen has the night off. You hear every day how states are struggling to stay afloat during this economic crisis. But the state of Illinois isn't just struggling, it's flat broke. But just how in debt is the land of Lincoln? News 10's Kate Green joins us live in the studio to explain. Kate?
Patrice, in just a few months, the state of Illinois will be in, get this, $130 billion in debt. Yes, I said billion with a B, and that figure means Illinois has one of the worst budget deficits in the nation. But when you hear the word billion, do you really know what it means? I know I don't, so I did my homework to find out. Here's a breakdown of just this year's debt. This year alone, Illinois will be $14 billion in debt. To put that into perspective, a stack of $14 billion bills would reach 1,000 miles high. Now that's the same distance from here, from Terre Haute to Miami. Now keep in mind, that's not factoring the debt from previous years. But the real question is, how did Illinois get to this point? It's estimated Illinois spends $3 for every $2 it takes in. They do this by simply borrowing money and refusing to pay their bills. Unpaid bills like the ones hitting college campuses and high school hallways. Educators are losing jobs and programs are being cut. The state simply cannot pay schools the money needed to function. The bottom line, billions of dollars of borrowed money and unpaid bills have left Illinois broke. A broken system that the state has been getting away with for years. But according to my calculations, it's going to be hundreds of years past your lifetime before Illinois will get out of debt. Patrice, back to you.
So how was that for a sobering audio clip? And by the way, I always try to give credit for the audio clips. That was from WHIT-TV.
okay, well.
So what do you think about that? Let's talk about that. We got about 2-3 minutes, then we got to go to break.
Oh, already? Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. We just start talking,
That's
and
just huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just huge numbers. And for
Yeah.
the average person, you overdraw your account by 1 penny in the banks, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, you've overdrawn," and then they want to charge you 35,
no,
40
it's the
bucks.
end. It's the end of the planet.
Well, yeah, but how? I don't understand how the state is still running with no money. It's just shocking.
Well, they're not. I mean, obviously, there's been a huge debt crisis with all the pension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's probably more too. This is probably tip of the iceberg theory,
Sure.
and there's probably going to be even more that comes out. But part of this too is all the amounts that they pay on these ungodly amounts on pensions.
Well, right. There was a thing with Chicago Public Schools. There's 670 million the state owes that fund.
Oh,
I am going, what?
Yeah.
How did that happen, and how did we
Yeah.
how did we let that go so far?
well, it talked about the public school systems. Let me play the next audio clip. It's only a minute long,
Uh-huh.
and then that'll bring us right in the break.
All right.
On Monday, Chicago's public school system proposed a balanced $5.75 billion operating budget for fiscal 2017. But this supposedly sustainable budget relies on rosy assumptions of union givebacks and added money from currently completely deadlocked Springfield government. In addition, the cash-strapped district's coffers would swell with a $250 million property tax increase sanctioned by the state to help foot the cost of rising teacher pensions. Chicago Public Schools CEO Forrest Claypool released a statement saying, "With this budget, we'll move the district onto stronger footing and stand ready to partner with leaders in Springfield to advance long-term education funding reform and pension equity."
Okay, and that was an audio clip by, looks like Watch It, WOCHIT News. Watch It News.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
interesting, huh?
Very interesting how we just can't quite seem to get on the same page for all this stuff.
Yeah, and then you heard about the increase in property taxes. You just said before this audio clip, how's it going to be paid for?
Well, right.
And
Yeah.
we're just trying to pay for the interest to carry all this debt.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's amazing. And as a result of this debt, Governor Rauner who's a Republican,
Yes,
was voted into office.
yeah,
And I love how he became the biggest enemy of the state, and for the last 25, 30, 40, 45, 50 years,
they've run up the
the
budget,
Democrats
yeah,
were
yeah.
the one that ran up the meter.
Oh, right,
Not-
now he's the bad guy.
Not all the Republicans, the Democrats,
Right, yeah.
which is a fact.
Yes.
We like to talk in facts, not fiction. So, Peggy, let's go to break.
Okay,
I know I need some coffee, and I wish we were doing a 2 or 3 hour show today, because
Yeah.
this is a hot topic.
it's
But
way hot.
we'll try to work on that in the future, folks. We're gonna cut the break here so you can listen to some really great stuff here, and then we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Oh, you can't go on break.
Oh, no,
Yeah, it's not working again.
oh, well,
So, looks like we're having computer difficulties here today. Looks like it's not me. I pushed the right button, and there's no sound coming out of the computer. So,
well, that's okay, we can just talk right through it.
yeah, and Peggy, I'm gonna slide around you there for a second, and then I'm gonna reset the camera for YouTube. So, if you got some more facts you want to talk about with CPS,
Oh,
so
yeah,
go ahead, and then I promise it'll only be like 10 seconds alone here.
it's okay, don't worry.
Maybe you're better off alone.
Causing a lot of this problem, if they could just, hold hands, get along and sing Kumbaya, it would work out much better, but, yeah, they've been in a bitter dispute, and, it's just coming down to, these kids need to go to school, they need to get these budgets balanced, so that way, everyone is able to go to school. And raising taxes, I don't know if it's gonna be the right answer, because people in Chicago may say, these taxes are too high, let's move out to the suburbs where it's cheaper. I don't know, but, I mean, think about it, people who've been in Chicago for their whole lives, all
Oh,
of a
yeah.
sudden, these taxes are just coming, and it's like, it's shocking. So-
Oh, yeah, and let me give you some statistics here. And I got this is real interesting here out of Lake County. So Grays Lake District, local money, this is local taxes they pay for the local schools. 72.8%. Big Hollow, District 38, 78.4%.
Wow.
Grant Heights, District 124, 85.89%. Fremont, District 79,
Yeah.
which is close to where I live,
Yeah,
the local money, 93.23%.
yeah,
And Round Lake, here's where the money goes. Locally, money is 32.1%.
Oh.
See?
But,
So
yeah.
this is the economics where a lot of the money is not evenly spread throughout all the school districts.
exactly.
It is spread like 80-90%, and the top, whatever, I wouldn't say top, but the
Top 10% or the.
Right.
Yeah,
these school, and
Yeah.
here's Chicago,
yeah,
48.85% locally.
yeah.
So that's where all the money goes.
Mm-hmm.
Downstate to pay upstate.
Yeah, it's, and the people downstate may not realize that their stuff comes all the way upstairs, all the way to the top of the state,
Right.
and, they probably figure, well, why should we, or, worry about it, why should we worry about it, because, our legislators are in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're saying down south.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's, those are very weighty issues no one even thinks about.
And a lot of the money downstate, and a lot of our money here, which we should be getting more money from Springfield,
Yes,
here in a lot of local districts. And here is Karen Lewis,
oh,
that I believe, you tell me if I'm wrong, and she is the head of the Chicago Public School Union, Teachers Union.
yes, she is,
Okay, and I want to make sure I get that correct.
yes.
So here is an audio clip from her from not too long ago, and this audio clip is, I didn't get who made it, but that's all right. Let me cue it up here.
We are also joined by a group of our rank and contract. We will continue to partner with parents and community residents in fighting for the schools our students deserve, but we will not accept an imposed pay cut. Therefore, parents, please pay close attention to what is going on over the next few weeks so you can be prepared should CPS force educators back on the picket line. To CTU members, we've been telling you for months now to save as much money as you can. We do not know if Mayor Emanuel can stand another teacher strike, especially at a time when confidence in his leadership is at an all-time low. And the city is in an uproar over another police shooting of an unarmed African-American youth. Do not force our hand.
So, what are your thoughts on that audio clip with Karen Lewis being the union of CPS?
I tell you, she's got, she needs to stop bringing other issues into the mix of things, such as Rahm Emanuel's ability to stand another strike or shooting of another black youth. You know, let's talk about the school. You know, yeah, no one can afford to take a 7% pay raise anywhere.
Right.
However, you know, you have to, I mean, there's just, when she talks about the things written into the contracts about pickup, about their pension plan and things like that, they have to realize things change, money changes, the value of money changes. And, you know, like I said, most people, and no one can afford to take a 7% pay cut, but they have to understand that the contracts have to be renegotiated, and maybe they don't get their pensions picked up, maybe they don't get as big of a perk or something like that, where, you know, it's, you know, I know there's no simple answer to any of this. This is all rhetoric, you know, sometimes, but, you know, a 7% pay cut, yes, it's devastating. However, they're still working, the students are still going to school, and, you know, you're trying to keep the place running, keep the lights on and the water running. And, you know, just as teachers, maybe they need to just do what they can to forward that. Stop fighting. Stop letting Karen Lewis do that, because it seems to be breaking things apart. And like I said, she's bringing up other issues where our politicians, you know, she's expressing a no confidence vote in Mayor Emanuel, when I'm sure he's, well, I don't know if he's not perfectly fine to handle it, but nonetheless, don't bring all that up. You know, there are other issues that shouldn't be addressed right now. Just get the students back to school, get the teachers back in there, you know, figure out a way to make that 7% either go away or come back in a couple of years, because I know those contracts are not for year to year. I think there's the built-in pay raises over time.
Right.
And, you know, it's just, it's hard to see these people fighting over this stuff, and the students are hanging out there. They've got nothing to do. And I, as a parent, I'm a parent. If my kids' teachers would have ever gone on strike, we couldn't have worked, because then we would have had to stay home with the kids. They're too
Right.
little to stay home. I mean, there's it's a ripple effect. It's just one drop of water, but all of a sudden you've got ripples and ripples, and you keep things at a standstill. And maybe that's what CPS wants. I hope not, but you know, too demanding, too many what ifs. What, you know? Well, I want this, or what if this, and too many unknowns out there. If they could just say, look, we need to go to school. Let's get the budget passed, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not saying work for free. You can't, but you know, don't be demanding either. There's, like I said, there's no perfect answer, but the kids gotta go to school.
Right, and I think you hit some nails on the head here. First of all, who's suffering?
Right.
It's the children that should be the most important thing
Yes.
on the agenda.
Yes,
And they're the ones that are suffering
yes.
from this, from the unknown or the anticipation of a strike.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get raises. And they got no one to blame but themselves when they have a bloated pension that
Yeah.
they're trying to pay for interest-wise.
Right.
But of course, she's going to interject partisan politics,
Yes.
and instead of blaming themselves and then trying to fix this going forward, they want to keep spending, $4 when you're only bringing in $3.
Right.
Like the audio said.
Yeah.
And they want to keep things as they were and keep all of these, I'm not saying some of these salaries aren't warranted,
Oh, yeah.
but some of these salaries are just out of hand, and that's how this thing just got so blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
And here's another. This is what's going to happen too, is that they're going to lay off teachers,
Right.
and then also they're going to lay off all the support personnel first,
Right.
and then they're going to lay off teachers, and then the class sizes are
Are
going to
gonna
go
double.
from 25 in a classroom to 45 or 50 or 60. Again, who's suffering?
Again, yeah, and
The
that's
students.
that's the biggest thing. The class sizes will double, and the best teachers in the world, still always say a smaller class is optimum for the students.
Right.
And the bigger it gets, the harder it is
Oh.
to, it's hard to
Yeah.
teach that huge of a swing of students.
And I think too that I think one of the most important jobs in the United States and in the world are teachers.
Yes, yes. Teachers are great.
And I think the system's got to revamp to where this pension system should maybe be turned into like a traditional Roth IRA, and
Right.
something like that instead of the pension system. It's amazing that you talked about the kids. You brought really good points, Peggy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me play the next audio clip here. This is called "Are We Equal?" and it's an audio from Creative, audio or something. So it's like a couple minutes long here. So let me play this.
Why me?
Why me?
Why me? Why me?
Why me?
In 2016, Springfield is planning to cut $200 million from the Chicago school budget. 3 out of every 4 schools will see cuts. Up to 5,000 teachers will lose their jobs, class sizes will rise, and academic electives and extracurricular activities will disappear.
Even with 20, 25 students, sometimes there's so many questions, you don't get through the entire lesson. I could only imagine 40 people.
By saying we will lose 20 teachers, that's terrifying.
Students are being robbed of their opportunity to fulfill their potential. Don't they deserve the same chance to succeed as the rest of the students in Illinois? Why is this happening to Chicago public school students?
Most of us are students of color.
Most of us are low income. Are we really equal?
Here's what's happening. The money isn't being distributed equally. While state funding has increased by $1,572 per student for all other districts in Illinois, the Chicago Public School state funding has decreased by $459 per student. Chicagoans provide 20% of the state's education revenue, and despite making up 20% of the state's students, Chicago Public Schools are funded at only 15%. This doesn't add up. The missing 5% could mean more than $458 million in additional funding this fiscal year alone. Our schools are being denied the funds they need.
The fact that my education is being seen as less devalues me as a human being.
For years, Chicago public schools were written off and considered a lost cause. But on the contrary, attendance and graduation rates have risen. Students are performing better on standardized tests, and more students than ever are enrolling in college.
We had the potential to become great doctors, to become great lawyers, to become activists. We need this for our futures,
Illinois needs a long-term solution. Chicago needs a long-term solution. We need to take action now. Contact your local alderman. Visit www.illinois.gov
sos-cps.com. The future leaders of Chicago need you now.
So it's kind of a cool ad.
Oh, it sounded really great and everything.
Yeah.
You know, you start throwing stats at people and,
Yeah.
you know, 15% of this and this. I'm not sure people really hear that, you know, and if they're smart, if listeners are smart, they're gonna go 15% of what?
Right.
And 45% of what?
Right.
And so it's great when you start throwing those numbers out, but, you know, you need something a little more concrete. But nonetheless, it did sound cool, and that students on there, they're right, their future is at risk.
Sure.
You know, they've got nowhere to go if they don't get started.
You know, and I think that, you know, you hit the nail on the head too, is that a lot of these problems are plagued not just in Illinois here, but it's a plague in most of the urban bigger cities.
Yes, yes.
And they are spending way too much money on the teachers.
Yes.
And what I'm getting at is the teacher's pension,
Right.
than focusing in on the actual budget for, let's say, you know, the actual physical schools, the current salaries of
Right.
teachers,
Yeah.
and keeping the class sizes to maybe, you know, 12 to 15,
Right.
you know, per class size. And, you know, here's the thing, and I'll admit this straight up front, I don't have any kids.
Mm.
So, but I thought this was such an important topic when you brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
So it is huge, and I think a lot of this has to start at the grassroots level, saying that you know, I've had enough of this, and the only way it's going to change is if you get involved.
Right, you know, but you have to be so careful with getting involved because, like I said, I am a parent. I
Right.
was involved and everything, but you know, then I've got people like you who have no children saying, "Well, what are you sticking your nose in there for?" I said,
Right.
"Well, you know, it's my children's education, and
Right.
you know, I want to make sure that they're getting what they need and all of that. I mean, you know, that's a very, very slippery slope for parents to become involved with that, even though it's good, but you know, you just got to kind of play it cool. Don't get lippy or, you know, like Mrs. Lewis or anything like that, and you know, just work together for the betterment of your school.
Right.
You know,
And you know, here's the thing that you mentioned. You mentioned something that I've been told before. It's like, how can you have an opinion when you don't have children? Well, let me tell you, this show is about people that don't have loud voices.
Sure.
And the children. This show, this particular show, is about the children out there around Illinois, throughout the United States,
Who have no voice.
that have a little bit of voice, but it's never heard.
Right.
And it is shoveled over by people like Karen Lewis,
Right.
who was more worried about her own political career,
Yes.
remaining in office, in trying to maintain the status quo.
Right.
And, you know, this is another thing is, Peggy, you brought up a really good point too. For years and years and years, I sat by and I kept waiting for someone to stand up, to start talking about all these issues. And when I first started law school, Peggy, I'll never forget this. And I went to Thomas Cooley Law School in Michigan. And I'll never forget this. The dean was a former, Dean Brennan, who was a former Supreme Court Justice of Michigan. He was the Chief Justice, I believe.
Wow.
And there was another dean at the time who I got very, very close to over the 2 years that I was in law school full time. But they said, look to the left, look to the right, they won't be there.
Oh, wow.
And we had more of an open admissions.
Yes.
And Thomas Cooley is probably academically one of the toughest law schools in the United States.
Wow.
And because they had more of an open admissions, and then they weeded out people in the first year in law school. But yeah, I remember, look to the left, look to the right, they won't be there.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing for the last 5, 6, 7 years. You know, Peggy, I've looked to the left, I looked to the right, and I kept waiting for someone to stand up and to start shining a light on these issues, like our children.
Yes,
Our children are the future,
they are.
and yet, and you know, I'm not playing the blame game, but Karen Lewis, who has pretty much did a preemptory strike
Right, right.
and trying to maintain her own political base instead of trying to come up
With a
with
solution.
some solutions.
Right, yeah.
You know, and how can we solve this huge global debt here in Illinois so we can get this cleaned up,
Yeah,
and then we can have you know, a balanced budget
right. I
and
mean,
going forward. And you know, and she only sees the snapshot before her.
right.
And you know, it takes a brave person to stand up in front of a crowd and say, "You're all wrong.
Yeah,
You're all wrong." And there's going to be a political consequence, but the fight is worth it. Who I'm fighting for
right.
is worth it.
Yeah,
And-
because they're gonna control things as soon as we're gone.
Correct.
So,
And what is more important asset to this country than our children?
exactly. And
And-
we need to teach them to follow the rules and you know, not, I shouldn't say follow the rules, but stay within the borders and the parameters of the, whatever you're doing. And by seeing people like Karen Lewis come and just make these bold statements and involve other agencies and cause chaos, that is not teaching people how to stay within the lines and do your work and do a good job and make sure that, you know, you take care of the people behind you. Because, you know, if we don't take care of those behind us, we are going to be sort of wounded on the way out.
You know, and here's the other thing too, is that Rahm Emanuel is, you know, I don't want to use the word blame, but he's got a responsibility.
Yes.
You mentioned another key thing, is going forward for the future and the future generations of our children here in Illinois.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna get old and not look so pretty.
Yeah.
Handsome's the word. But you know, our children are going to be the ones that are going to be the future teachers,
Yes.
the future senators. And I look at the state of the union here in Illinois, and it's not looking too good.
I see a lot of people trying to get out of here.
Oh
And
yeah, they've had enough.
They've had enough. You can't be taxed anywhere. You can't, you know, you can't make a buck here. You can't do anything. Everything is tied up.
Yeah,
So yeah, I see a lot of people going, and what's left. We
yeah,
don't
they're
even know.
trying to squeeze as the pie, the financial pie, is shrinking. They're trying to squeeze more and more out of it to maintain these, you know, just ridiculous budgets.
Yes. Yes.
And the interest. So we got about a minute so left here in the
Holy
show.
smokes, where
Yeah,
did
it flies
go,
by.
man?
So
Oh.
I hope you friends and listeners have, you know, found this radio show to be enlightening. I know Peggy, you taught me some stuff today about Labor Day and
Oh yeah, hey, it's
And,
always something, man.
I won't crack a joke where we should go back to the labor force and you know, hiring children to work the factories.
No, that's
I'm
another
kidding. I'm
day.
kidding. That's my sarcastic sense of humor. So anyway, folks, you know, we hope you have a great Labor Day out there. And this is also about your children. So make sure you spend time with your family out there. Peggy, thanks for coming on the show again.
No problem. I love it.
Okay, and then next week is 9/11, so we're going to be doing a commemorative show on 9/11.
Great. Okay.
And it's going to be a very awesome show. So everyone, you take care of yourself and your family and your friends. I'll be back here with Peggy Busceni next week, Sunday at 12 noon.
Have a great week, everybody.
All right, see
Happy
ya.
Labor Day.